So recently, the biggest YouTuber ever, period, Mr. Beast, came out in support of his trans best friend, Chris Tyson. They go by any all pronouns. I just choose they for people who go by any all pronouns. I feel like it's it just works. It fits. It makes sense, you know. I don't know why, but if someone has like a preferred but does go by any, I don't know. Regardless, I generally default to they, them. Regardless, Mr. Beast came out in support of his trans friend and outright said the transphobia is upsetting him, and has actually frequently on Twitter for like a month now been dunking on transphobic comments. I haven't even noticed it, but there's like 8 tweet replies from Mr. Beast debunking transphobia. Like random transphobes on Twitter that he is like responding to, debunking what they're saying. I don't know how I didn't notice it like a while ago, but he's been based posting in regards to trans rights for a little while now. So very cool stuff. However, for the right and for reactionaries and transphobes, this is a nightmare for them. Mr. Beast is the most influential figure there is to Gen Z. YouTube is the Gen Z platform of like long form entertainment. A lot of Zoomers are on TikTok, but when it comes to like what are they generally building their culture around primarily as they get older and like kind of grow out of like the really immature trend stuff, it's usually YouTube. It's like once you start to get a little older is where you start to spend most of your time online, especially in Gen Z. And because of that, the right is terrified that Gen Z, which is already arguably progressive enough that them aging into voting and many boomers aging out of it by dying is going to be enough to destroy the Republican Party in this country. The fact that one of their most influential figures, basically the Mr. Rogers of Gen Z YouTube, is now espousing pro-trans opinions, and not only that, but platforming a trans person in his videos in a positive context as just one of his friends, just a completely normal person, just one of his friends. Hell, if we watch the most recent Mr. Beast video, just a bit of it, it's literally like the best form of representation is a real-life trans person just there having fun with his like with their friends. Like that's all it is. So like if I you know, here's them on the plane. This is them on a plane. See?
I don't like this glass.
That's Chris.
It like separates me. I'm all alone back
That is the exact reason why I like it. The only downside is that you don't get a lot of privacy.
It's really awkward filming a video with all these people walking by.
So let's see what a plane ticket that is 10 times more expensive feels like. And now the $10,000 plane ticket. Oh man, this is nice. I have unlimited legroom here.
But like, you know, Chris is just there in the videos and is trans and is just part of them, as they've always been. And that is a substantial subconscious normalization of trans people. And it tells people trans people are just normal. And not only that, but Mr. Beast is so popular that he's practically untouchable. The fact that such an untouchable creator has come out in favor of this position, oh my God, this is the right's biggest nightmare. They are trying to fight back, but in doing so, they are digging their own grave. They are overextending, as they tend to do when, you know, when they get really confident, and they're attacking Chris and Mr. Beast, and they're doing it in really disgusting ways. We already covered the Sunny V2 video about this, but people really wanted me to react to this video that also went viral about it. It's apparently way worse, so let's go ahead and take a look. How Chris became the most hated Mr. Beast member. Remember, all Chris did was come out as trans.
Chris Tyson is one of the OG members of the Mr. Beast channel and
oh yeah, this is one of those Sunny V2 ripoff channels. Like, there's a ton of channels like this that just copy-paste the same format. You just rehash a bunch of old drama you can, like, read over from Reddit, edit it a little bit, put some, like, music over it, and get a really clickbaity thumbnail, and you can literally pull millions of views per video. It's a really surprisingly easy grift. There's a lot of copycats.
Has been active in Jimmy's videos from the beginning of his career. However, in the span of the last month, Chris has had a visible change in appearance and has recently announced that he has been going through hormone therapy by taking estrogens in order to feminize him. How he has received a lot of hate
Taking estrogens
from this public announcement, and why Carl Jacobs might be correlated with Chris's transitioning, will be discussed.
Why Carl Jacobs might be related. For those that don't know, like, Carl Jacobs is another Mr. Beast, like, friend who's, like, very progressive and has like a very LGBT Zoomer Minecraft fan community. He's like in the dream sphere, kinda. Like, all the evidence did point to the idea, pretty much, of Mr. Beast being pretty progressive nowadays. But, you know, he's got some cringe positions, like his crypto stuff. Though then again, I haven't really seen him shout out crypto or speak positively about Elon Musk in a while. Other than saying that he should be the new CEO of Twitter and that Elon should make him the new CEO of Twitter. He doesn't really speak positively of Elon anymore. So I feel like there's a reason for that.
In this video, Chris is a crucial part of the MrBeast YouTube channel and has always stood out in the videos because of his unique style of humor. There were always some changes in the MrBeast production team here and there, but it would all change when Carl Jacobs was hired as an editor. Carl and Chris formed a very close friendship with each other, and when one of the
By the way, this is being framed as like a downfall video. I should remind you, like, Carl Jacobs is like the other most popular figure that appears in MrBeast videos. Like, Carl Jacobs is like nearly dream-sized himself and is just one of Mr. Beast's like friends that is in his videos, and that's how he started. Like, the idea that Carl Jacobs, the LGBT-ness of Mr. Beast's crew, or any of that is somehow like going to be his downfall is hilarious, especially when most of his audience is Gen Z. Gen Z, which, by the way, like, I don't know if you guys watch the subreddit Crazy Fucking Videos, r/Crazy Fucking Videos. Big trigger warning before going there. Lots of death on that subreddit. But a lot of videos are literally like high school fights. And I've literally seen dozens of videos of like some homophobic teenager like bullying a gay or trans kid. And then some like 6-foot tall senior coming out of nowhere, picking up like the sophomore who was bullying the freshman gay kid and just slamming him into the ground, getting expelled for it, but like just going full vigilante justice. And when I see those videos of like teenagers beating the shit out of other teenagers at school for bullying a gay kid for being gay, it gives me hope about this generation like growing up into voting age. It gives me hope. Shit, I need to go there. I like to see details, deaths caught on tape. No one died in that video, but there are quite a few deaths caught on tape on r/Crazy Fucking Videos.
Ex-MrBeast members named Jack the Viking would leave the MrBeast cast. It was the perfect opportunity for a new member to join. Carl and Chris' friendship was so strong that, according to MrBeast himself, Chris wouldn't film videos unless Carl was with him in the main cast.
And then the other guy, Carl, he was my editor that Chris literally just became friends with. And Chris was like, I don't want to film unless Carl's around. I was like, all right, Carl, you're part of the team.
But as soon as...
Dude, this is true of the Sunny V2 video as well. Everything they show is like evidence for their point is like the most armchair psychology. Like, well, if you look at what they said this certain way with the priming I gave it, well, then it can kind of support the point I'm making. It can kind of be considered evidence if you consider the priming I gave to the video.
Carl and Chris were seen a lot in the videos together, many people would start to notice that Chris would start to change a bit. In a tweet that was published back in late 2020, Chris would say this: "Also, I want to use my all to let everyone know that I am bisexual. And when I told the few people I did when I was 16, I got a lot of negative backlash from friends/family. Just know if the people around you don't love and support you, we always will." Even though this tweet didn't cause Chris to get a lot of hate, it were all the small changes after that that led to people slowly seeing the so-called Carl effect.
They're so fucking... They have to... So here's the big thing. You'll notice that most of the figures calling out Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson aren't doing it from grounds of, like, ideological disagreement with being trans. They're acting as though transphobic pushback against Chris is an argument for why being trans is a bad business decision, which is a cringe move that they're basically trying to use like YouTube drama channel logic to push a political ideology. Does that make sense? This is actually not very uncommon. There are a lot of like right-wingers and neo-Nazis who have used like the drama community as like a way to gain a following. They usually fall off pretty quick. Flamenco is one of them. Flamenco was trying to use like the whole drama sphere as a way of like getting prominence, but then they found out he was a pedophile and they kind of destroyed his entire career. It was really funny. But you know, it is what it is.
During this time, people started questioning if Chris and his wife were divorced, since they wouldn't be uploading images together on their social media, and Chris wasn't wearing his wedding ring anymore. In March of 2023, this was confirmed, since Chris tweeted about explaining the situation. For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated. We are finalizing things soon, but these things take time.
Yeah, all these videos like to delve into the details of Chris Tyson's marriage. It's really bizarre and weird. You'll find that right-wingers love to dig into the lives of minorities and like lefties and whatnot to try to make some argument about them being cringe and bad. Basically, it's trying to turn this figure into kind of a lolcow because they don't have any moral arguments to make. They can only just kind of try to make this person look bad enough that like they become a laughing stock. And at that point, the internet will be needlessly cruel to them on its own for no reason.
We like to keep our personal lives private, which a lot of people don't understand because we share so much. But this is the only time I want to discuss it. Please respect our privacy and please do not comment asking questions about the specific topic. Some people would blame this on Carl because he supposedly changed Chris to the point where his relationship with his wife would deteriorate. Later, Chris started tweeting more and more about the LGBT community, transgender people in specific. This was coupled with his appearance in the Mr. Beast videos starting to adopt more feminine traits.
I love how bad they try to make this sound, dude. It's like, oh my god, Chris tweeted support for the LGBT community while being LGBT, and in Mr. Beast's videos where politics aren't even brought up or anything, you can notice that Chris is more feminine. It's like these people literally live in a padded room that is painted blue, white, and pink.
With his hair growing out, him curling his hair, him painting his nails, and him wearing predominantly feminine clothes. But these were all just characteristics that didn't have a huge impact on most of the viewership. However, a Twitter user named Blix would upload a comparison image with the title, "Bro, WTF happened?" That would gain a lot of traction. There were a lot of negative comments such as, "The Matrix got to him," "Carl ruins everything."
Remember, guys, literally, like, it just like how, Sunny V2 cited Sneeko in one of his videos. This guy's citing Andrew Tate fans saying The Matrix got him. This dude's an Andrew Tate fan. These people have to couch their ideology in this sort of cool, disaffected, sort of documentary-style drama video about how they're trying to frame it like this is the downfall of a YouTuber to try to make it happen, like fake it till it happens. Because if they can convince people this YouTuber is on their downfall, then maybe they can make it happen, is basically what they're trying to do. They are deathly terrified of Mr. Beast being pro-trans and spreading that, belief and that sentiment to his audience. They are deathly afraid and they are panicking and trying anything they can think of. And they're overextending.
I blame Carl Jacobs. Wokeness destroys the mind, the body, the soul. I still blame Carl. There were also some lesser serious ones like Mr. Beast done showed them the beast, or some people who generally didn't care. But everything would change when Chris quote tweeted this announcing HRT, and it's only been 2 months. Shocked emoji. If you don't know, HRT stands for hormone replacement therapy that is either used to feminize a body using estrogens or masculinize a body using anti-estrogens. Since Chris was already male to begin with, it is very likely that he has been taking estrogen hormones for 2 months now. The Mr. Beast crew members would be very supportive of Chris transitioning, such as Nolan saying, "Holy smokes, I'm proud of you."
Hey Jalen, this guy definitely subscribes to Andrew Tate's website. Yeah, this guy's definitely a student in Hustlers University.
Or Carl saying, "Fuck the goofy motherfuckers, keep running your own stuff." Chris would respond by thanking Carl for being such an inspiration. "Carl, thanks for being..."
I love this like conspiracy theory that Carl's behind it. And meanwhile, you can see like these tweets are getting tens of thousands of likes. Trying to pretend like this is the downfall of the Mr. Beast crew.
Running your own stuff. Chris would respond by thanking Carl for being such an inspiration. "Carl, thanks for being an inspiration to me and so many other people to be happy and comfortable being yourself." Everybody can decide on their own whether or not this change was positive or negative for Chris. But from this message, Chris has basically confirmed that Carl has influenced him in such a way that he can express himself comfortably, ultimately verifying that the Carl effect is real. Not everyone.
How can you with a straight face say that Carl's friendship has had the effect on Chris of making Chris feel comfortable living as themselves, and you respond to that by saying it's the Carl effect. This, like, what? That's, like, ruining Chris's life, but also ruining the channel, but also not, I guess. What? Dude, these people are so deranged. They'll find any excuse. It's literally any excuse. Any excuse to hate trans people. It doesn't come from a place of logic. It comes from a place of retardation.
Everyone was very happy for Chris to change though, as there were comments arguing, this is not going to end well. It isn't too late to turn back. He looks like he's dying. Unsubscribed, unfollowed, and unbeasted. Chris also has a son that is around 2 years old, and many people were discontented.
The great thing is, like, all of the comments saying they're unsubscribing are all getting ratioed by people saying, good, do it. We don't want you here anyway. And Mr. Beast's channel, let's check how Mr. Beast's channel's doing right now on Social Blade. Holy shit. Well, he's gained 6 million subs since this all happened. The channel's not being hurt. Wow. Can you imagine gaining 1 million subs 4 days in a row? This is when he uploaded the new video. Oh my god, look at that. Because Social Blade can only count by decimal. So he gains so many subs per day. It's over 1 million, but they round it down probably. So it's like he's literally gaining on some days 1 million subs a day for certain stretches. Yeah, guys, I don't know if this is going to be the downfall of his channel. Dude, he might hit 200 million soon. 147 million right now. He's going to hit 200 million relatively soon. Like maybe by the end of the year or early next year. Holy shit. Dude, he's going to be the biggest YouTuber for a long time. Like that kind of growth is fucking insane. Those are millions of subs per week. Like entire career YouTube channels. Like when you watch a YouTuber with 6 million subs, that is a big YouTube channel. He is making that many, he's getting that many subs in a week.
Contented after realizing that the son now has a missing father figure in his life. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times.
Dude, these people... Oh, yeah, okay, so we're doing the Nazi quote. This is literally, like, for the most part, a copy-paste of the Sunny V2 video. This is, like, a Nazi quote, by the way. It's literally, like, online, at least, exclusively said by Nazis. It's about, like, returning to tradition and, like, destroying modernity and all that. It's just the idea that, like, minorities having rights and women being able to vote and stuff like that has ruined society.
Create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, weak man times. Chris would quote tweet again by responding.
Also, Chris has, like, gone on record saying multiple times that, like, they've been a better parent because of their transition. Like, their transition has allowed them to become a better parent. Wow, becoming confident in yourself? The Carl effect sounds pretty cool. True.
This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and gender not confirming folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate. It's taught by people like you. And my child will only know love.
Literally just objectively good response. Literally an objectively good response.
I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of the children before everything. I made this decision.
What I love so much about these videos, they've destroyed themselves. All of these videos got fucking nuked on Twitter, and their dislike ratios are insane. Trying to pick a fight with Mr. Beast, for political reasons especially. Remember, guys, the right has always gained its prominence online on the idea the left is trying to force politics down normal people's throats, while the right just wants them to have freedom and freedom of speech to say and do what they want. The right are overextending. They're now pushing hardcore their views on other people. This won't end well for them. Declaring war against Mr. Beast will not end well for them. Steven Crowder, Michael Knowles, and Matt Walsh have all made videos on Chris as well. This is not a winning fight.
Because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. However, this was all just information Chris posted on his...
Why do they include things in their video that make Chris look good? Well, because, like, these things don't look good to them. The idea of, like, a trans person being happy and living their best life is not a good thing in their mind. It is if you're, like, pro-trans because you want trans people to be happy. This person doesn't want trans people to be happy, so these are arguments for why this is bad. And you're about to hear his argument that, like, this is all just Chris saying whatever makes people happy in a second.
However, this was all just information Chris posted on his main account with almost 1 million followers. Chris also has a second account named @ChrisTheAltGod, which has around 250,000 followers. He first clarified his bisexuality by stating this: "I was reading my Instagram comments, and unless I missed something new in my own life, I'm 99.9% sure I still like both genders, lol. I'll see you next time I come out as bi for the 438,905th time." Chris is also very happy that he decided to be public about his hormone usage, as he states here: "I'm genuinely so glad so many people are learning what HRT is, and how it can and has helped so many people because of my tweet. I was super nervous to be public about this, because I've always been so private when it comes to this, but seeing conversations started because of me is amazing. It makes everything so worth it. I'm so excited to have more conversations like this in the future with you all." He again uploaded an image.
Hormone usage like it's fucking cocaine.
Hey, I need to use right now. You got any of that fucking testosterone needles in your fucking pocket? I gotta shoot up. I gotta shoot up my tea, bro. I gotta shoot up my tea.
Bro thinks trans dudes are like outside the gas station out back shooting up tea and getting high.
You got some E, bro? Yo, you got some tea? No, I'm feeling some hormone blockers tonight. I want to get high on hormone blockers. Yeah, I'm not feeling any T or E tonight. I'm feeling them hormone blockers. Those HBs. Want to get high on some...
These goddamn people are so goddamn stupid.
Image with his son stating: "If I didn't have this little nugget, I'd never have gotten this far. He's taught me so much about myself in such a short time. I can't wait to learn through life together." Mr. Beast himself was very open to support his friend Chris, as he replied positively to a lot of his tweets. "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles
This
GNC
is not a
people
very
have to jump
effective
through
hate
to get
video.
life-saving, gender-affirming healthcare in a first-world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies. Got
True.
you, heart, heart, heart. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend. Jimmy, you are so real for this. Way realer than Carl." On a
Nice.
different tweet, somebody commented: "In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe." Mr. Beast responded: "Opinion irrelevant. Ratio."
Mr. Beast dunking on transphobia, so fucking based. He's been doing it for a while now. Mr. Beast has literally been Twitter dunking on transphobes for like a month.
The guy responded: "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing I'm not a coward who idly stands by watching her friend ruin his own life." Carl responded: "I am watching the whole friend group living happy lives, being them to the truest extent and counting up their money, but keep battling on Twitter."
Bro, they're just coping so hard that Mr. Beast and his crew are woke. Oh my god, this is the best. Like, just know, no matter how vitriolic these videos are, it's all copium over the fact that they know they're losing. They are losing. The legislation, that's them losing. They know that they're running out of time to make being trans illegal. They know they're losing. They can't win the culture war. They have to seize hold of political control illegally and get Trump in office indefinitely and hold right-wing power indefinitely so that they can instill their will as soon as possible, because they know they're losing their ability to have any electoral power pretty fucking fast.
Many mainstream influencer news outlets such as Drama Alert and Dexerto covered this incident, but Sneeko...
Marjorie Taylor Greene might live to see the last American Republican president. I feel like that's genuinely possible. I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene is young enough to witness the last American Republican president get elected. It really depends on how much larger, like, towns and cities in rural areas start to grow in population. Believe it or not, there are actually a fair amount of, like, not necessarily cities, but, like, dense towns in more rural states that aren't like big cities that are known for being blue that are growing, and their populations are growing. And when people want to move out of the cities that are blue voters so they can afford cheaper housing, they're moving to the country. Like, they're moving out to like these countryside cities, which is going to harm the ability for the right to use the Electoral College to gain political control as well. They've already lost the popular vote pretty consistently at this point. Like, they don't, I don't think they can get the popular vote anymore at this point, at least not realistically. the Electoral College is their only saving grace, and that's only going to save them for so long. They carved out the town to pieces in our districts. In Roar districts, 4 districts. Okay, I think that's what you meant. Yeah, like, dude, there are some crazy districts. There's a district that Ethan showed me in Texas that is shaped like a pair of headphones. That's gerrymandering, baby.
Who I talked about multiple times in earlier videos, was not shy to share his opinion as well.
The Chris I know was like a truck driving.
Fucking citing Sneeko. Okay, yeah, we got an Andrew Tate fan.
AK-47 shooting, Call of Duty playing, dip chewing. Yep. That was the Chris I knew. But that was the Chris I knew. Was, woo, Trump, what's up with all these trannies? The Chris, he had a southern accent, he was driving monster trucks, and he
Oh, damn, character development, not allowed.
helped me shoot my first AK-47. And he was chewing dip, and he was smoking Marlboro Reds. He had just bought a big truck with all the Mr. Beast money. That was...
You know, there's nothing about Chris being trans that makes it so they can't like guns or chewing dip or driving trucks anymore, right? I've met trans rednecks that are like, yeah, got my gun, got my truck, got my chickens and my plot of land, and I live out in the middle of the country, and I'm trans. Like, I've literally met trans people online that are living the like trans country girl lifestyle or trans country dude lifestyle. Like, I know them. They exist. They love guns. They like living on the land and being far away from like the city and living rurally and having a place to shoot and room for animals and stuff. Like, yeah, yeah.
Chris, what the happened? The people that are encouraging this, they think that they're doing the right thing. They're all brainwashed. Even Mr. Beast thinks that he's doing the right thing by supporting his friend Chris. Brainwashed.
Dude, Sneeko is just destroying his internet reputation. First, Critical just destroys him entirely, and now he's trying to go against Mr. Beast. He is just annihilating any ability for his platform to ever grow. At this point, Sneeko's audience is just going to dwindle. It is just going to be a slow dwindling shrinking until he's irrelevant. There is no more Sneeko growth. Everybody who knows about him, he's reached market saturation. At this point, everybody that knows about him fucking hates him. He's going to die off and become irrelevant by the time like a new generation of potential Sneeko fans ages into it.
Really cared, you would not encourage his delusion now. You would look at the long term and see that this is something that he's doing because he is brainwashed by social media, because he's living in the West where this is pushed by a bunch of garbage. If you were really his friend right now, you would hear what I'm saying, because someone's gonna clip this and send it to him. You would tell him you've made the wrong decision.
This whole situation gets more interesting after realizing that Chris and Mr. Beast were both under fire a few years ago for a video they made about transgender people titled, "I sexually identify as an attack helicopter."
Yeah. Their opinions changed. One of the right's biggest gotchas on people who are progressive, they do this to, it's a big part of why they hate, and the arguments they make against iDubbbz as well, is that, well, how can you be so progressive now when you were once edgy back in the day? And it's like, so no personal growth allowed? In their view, it's hypocritical. If you change as a person and your standards now are different from what they were back then, that makes you a hypocrite. Because people on the internet need to find an excuse to dunk on you. And so they'll see what they want to see.
Where Chris would dress up and pretend to be an Apache attack helicopter.
Bro, what are you doing?
Bro? Did you just assume my gender?
I like how the video is like 10 years old. And I also like how the video pretends that, like, also based Walking Dead sticker. I also like how the video pretends like it's not a meme, that shit tons of trans people, particularly trans women, used to be edgy transphobes. One of the most common things for trans people is being an edgy teenager in denial making helicopter jokes, right? Like, I hear about it all the fucking time. I feel like it's a unanimous... Yeah, Cherry in chat saying, when I was a teenager, I was making attack helicopter jokes and I'm trans now, Lamau. Yeah, it's like very common. Yeah, people are wrong sometimes and then they end up being right. They're trying to frame it like it's hypocrisy, but what it truly is that Mr. Beast and Chris were once ignorant and believed bad things, and then they had experiences or had it explained to them why they were wrong and changed their mind, which means they're probably more knowledgeable and attached to their progressive values than the vast majority of like born lucky progressive lefties who just kind of grew into it. Because they've been reactionary leaning before and got out of it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to misgender you.
You're such a helophobe. Get out!
I sexually identify as an attack helicopter. Ever since I was a boy, I dreamed of soaring over the oil fields, dropping hot, sticky loads on disgusting foreigners. People say to me that a person being a helicopter is impossible. I'm having a plastic surgeon install rotary blades, 30mm cannons, and AMG 114 Hellfire missiles
crime
on my
music.
body. From now on, I want you guys to call me Apache and respect my right to kill from above and kill needlessly. If you can't accept me, you're a helophobe and need to check your vehicle privilege.
It's time to live my dream.
These are such like 2014 memes.
Hey girl, you want some attack helicopter? Be free, my brother.
Every day, countless vehicles are born into human bodies. I've never told anyone this, but I was actually born a tank, but sadly, it wasn't one of our 52 genders.
But when watching these clips, one needs to consider that YouTube was a completely different landscape back in 2016. So a joke that might—
Or are they going to try to argue that like Mr. Beast is sanitizing himself because YouTube will ban you? Dude, it's hilarious because right now YouTube is like... Has YouTube like banned a prominent TOS TOS breaker anytime recently? Like there's been nothing but false strikes and no like big announced bans of any of the like Nazi content creators or like anti-trans content creators. Like none of them get banned. YouTube is actively not applying their TOS at the moment except for small channels.
It seem absolutely insensitive right now could have been totally acceptable just 7 years ago. But the comments Chris receives on his TikTok videos, especially on his newest video where he showed a framed image of Carl holding his son Tucker, were mostly unsupportive of Chris's change. Can't spell Carl without L. Carl is taking his son too. Bro, what's happened? He hangs around Carl too.
So like transphobic comments makes transphobia right. Because remember guys, these people just want to be on the winning team. People agreeing with them is the only argument they need. Like, them being on the winning side is the only argument they need to join it.
The unsupportiveness might have developed because Chris has built an audience of people that liked him when he had shorter hair and generally showed more masculine traits. So these people might see it as a betrayal when Chris changed his appearance and personality. I tried to stay neutral in this video, but if you want to help reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers,
don't subscribe. Don't subscribe. Jesus Christ, these people are obsessed, and I'm so glad the right is overextending and destroying their reputation online by attacking the biggest YouTuber ever. Makes me so happy. And Mr. Beast has gained 6 million subs since all of this. So, yeah, the video is kind of bullshit.